This is the most important offseason ever for the Pelicans front office guy David Griffin. If Zion Williamson has played 0 playoff games this time next year, he's going to be fired. Somehow, New Orleans had an all-star Zion, ex-all-star Brandon Ingram, the best Lonzo year ever, and couldn't make a 10-team playoff. Good news for the Pels, though, there are a lot of big decisions that could change everything, starting with a new head coach. This video explains who the Pels' next coach should be and what other things Griffin has to do, or else.
Or else what, you big loser?
Yo, it's Casey, and this is AM Hoops as we continue Offseason Wednesday, a look at one of the more disappointing teams of last season. Always dropping videos Monday through Friday, so you can be an entertained NBA fan all week long. And we always go over the offseason basics to start. So the Pelicans' cap space is none. They have nothing. But they do have 2 big exceptions, the full mid-level and the full biannual to work with. Draft, they actually have a 4.5% chance at number 1 overall, but probably they'll pick 8 through 10. Their needs, shooting guard, shooting, and defense. Relevant free agents, Lonzo Ball is restricted and so is Josh Hart. And the first thing they have to deal with is the future of those 2 guys. Now, obviously, they want to keep both of them, but they can't because the owner, Gail Benson, is cheap. The only teams that have never paid the luxury tax are New Orleans and Charlotte. That's it. Lonzo and Josh Hart are restricted free agents, which means that they can take offers from other teams, but the Pelicans can match it and keep them no matter what. The Pels already offered Lonzo a contract before this season, but he said, "That is not big enough. I am gonna bet on myself." Well, he balled out this year and it worked. Zoe had his best season with career highs in points, field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. He showed he is a great fit next to Zion because Zoe can play off the ball too with the ball in Zion's hands. We know he's a good passer and defender, of course, but Zoe proved that he is elite on the catch and shoot as well. Josh Hart is an amazing glue guy who can play basically any role besides center. Lonzo might get above $20 million a year. Hart above 11. They can't afford to keep both guys unless they do one crazy thing, and that is trade Eric Bledsoe. If the Pels move his $18 million deal, they can re-sign both of their young guys. The problem is Bledsoe is so bad, they're gonna have to pay someone to take him. So my trade scenario is Eric Bledsoe and the Lakers 2024 top 10 protected first to the Thunder for the Hornets 24 second. With this, the Pels get cap space. They've got a ton of picks after their deals with the Bucks and the Lakers, and they're gonna have to give up one of them if they want to keep Lonzo and Josh Hart. Rebuilding teams with cap space like OKC would take Bledsoe for a first-round pick, and top 10 protected is realistic. If they don't do a trade like that, Lonzo Ball might be on another team next season. Realistic teams with cap space that could take Lonzo are the Knicks or the Miami Heat now that Victor Oladipo is injured. More teams could snag him if they do a sign and trade though. Or the Pelicans could do a 1-year qualifying offer for around $14 million and Zoe would be an unrestricted free agent next year. It could get ugly, but I think trading a first is worth keeping Zoe and Josh Hart. Next, hire a new head coach. I'll be honest, I did not see Stan Van Gundy getting fired, even though he won my Worst Coach of the Year award. The Pels are super cheap, but I guess he was that bad. Now they will compete for a great coach along with the Wizards, the Blazers, the Pacers, and the Magic, but NOLA has Zion. Names like Chauncey Billups, Jason Kidd, Fred Vinson, and Heat assistant Malik Allen are out there, but I would hire Willie Green. This guy will get a job soon, and the Pels should snatch him up first. He's been an assistant in Phoenix for 5 years, patiently building them up. NOLA wants to be the next Phoenix Suns, and this guy knows the blueprint. Is the draft. And at number 9, they should pick Corey Kispert, a small forward from Gonzaga. This kid is a great fit because he can shoot and defend. The last thing New Orleans needs is a player with the ball in his hands who also will clog the paint. Kispert will be a complement though to Zion with a competitive fire. The Pels need more attitude. Kispert is a fiery player who shot 44% from deep last year with good on and off ball defense. New Orleans needs a playoff run, and at 22 years old, Kispert contributes right away. But what's crazy, the Pelicans actually have 5 draft picks, seriously. 1 first and 4 second. Now they don't have the roster space or the money to bring all 5 rookies in, so I think they should package every single second round pick to move up again late in the first round. The Pels trade 3 seconds for the number 25 pick in the draft and select Chris Duarte, a shooting guard from Oregon. Another older player who can contribute at 23 years old. He was all defense in the Pac-12. He is a legit 40% three-point shooter, and he is 6'6". So switching on defense in the league is possible for him. Another option would be to package all their second rounders to move up into a future draft. But the Pelicans need impact players now, and this is a deep class. Now, it is time for trades and free agency. And you already know that I think they should trade Bledsoe for cap space. But what about free agent targets? Well, the Pels should have the full $9.5 million mid-level exception to spend. And with that, I think they should target Alex Caruso. The Caruso will be a popular name in free agency because he is expected to get the mid-level. If the Pels don't draft a shooting guard, then Caruso is a great fit. He is good on defense, doesn't mind coming off the bench, hits 40% from downtown with playoff experience. Next up, Serge Ibaka. The Pels could offer Serge a multi-year deal at the mid-level. At 31 years old and injuries creeping in, he might jump at that deal. Ibaka fills the stretch 4 position for New Orleans. He is still a decent defender, and he is a leader they need in the locker room. If the playoffs are mandatory, and they are, this money should go to a vet like Ibaka, who has been a key rotation piece to a championship team in Toronto and been a teammate to some of the best players in the game, including Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard. That is a guy you want near Zion. This, though, is a list of all the players I think the Pelicans could go for. Patty Mills, Paul Millsap, Derrick Jones Jr., PJ Tucker, Lauri Markkanen, and Frank Ntilikina. The big picture, though, for this team is to do whatever to get Zion to the playoffs. This dude will be a free agent before you know it, and they don't want a second coming of Anthony Davis, an MVP-type franchise player who they failed to build around, who leaves for a bigger market. The good news, though, is they've got time, because Zion will sign a max rookie extension next offseason, but they can't afford to waste another year. If the Pelicans trade Bledsoe to keep their core together, then bring in draft and free agent help, this could be a 6 seed in the West. Every Wednesday, we are dropping off-season videos, and this is a playlist if you want to check out other teams, including the Lakers, the Blazers, or even the Warriors.